Peter Scholl, S-C-H-O-L-L.
And what title?
Pilot command, B17 Sentimental Journey.
Give me an idea about the history of the B-17.
The history of the B-17 aircraft itself, it was designed in 1935 as a bombardment aircraft. It was the largest bombardment aircraft in the world when it was designed. Taken into service by the United States Army Air Corps and Army Air Forces, and served in World War II and throughout World War II as the primary heavy bomber in the European theater of operations.
And how many years did it run for?
They were produced for 10 years. They were used up until the mid-50s or so by the United States Air Force, just in utility roles, not in bombardment roles. They were phased out of the bombardment role in 1945 with the end of the war.
Did it have a main theater of operation?
They operated all over the world, but mainly out of England with the 8th Air Force and out of Italy with the 15th Air Force as well.
And what kind of success did the aircraft have overall? In terms
Very good. It was kind of the primary. It had a lot of favorable press, since it was the first bomber into action for the United States Air Forces out of England in World War II, and it had a lot of favorable press, and it was considered to be one of the war winners of World War II.
And can you give us a little history on this particular aircraft?
This particular aircraft was built by the Douglas Company, actually. It was a subsidiary or a license builder for Boeing in 1945. It was a little too late for World War II. Did not see combat. It was a replacement aircraft in the Philippines when the war ended in September of 1945.
Yeah.
After that, it was used for utility roles. It was a drone controller during the atomic bomb tests. It doesn't glow anymore, we promise. And then after that, it was used as a search and rescue aircraft in Florida in the United States Air Force. It was phased out of service and surplused in the late 50s, and then it served almost 20-year career as a fire bomber in Northern California and fighting fires throughout the southwestern United States. After 20 years of that, it was donated to our organization in 1980, and ever since it's been a flying museum, coming out to see people all over the world.
And how many of them are left?
Approximately 4 dozen are still around in museums. There's 8 or 9 currently flying, probably just less than a dozen that could be made flyable.
Is there any other, and where do you go from here?
From here, we'll be in Calgary until Monday, and then after that we travel down to Medicine Hat for 3 days, and then it'll be Edmonton, down to Red Deer for a few days, and then we'll be back into the United States at Montana, and then working our way back down to our home of Phoenix, Arizona in October.
Were there any specific missions in the Philippines or any of that kind of stuff that this particular aircraft had a sort of a good mission on? Or
yeah, the initial mission that it was used for was photo mapping. Right after the war, they didn't have any good charts of the Philippines and the Southwest Pacific, so it was fitted with cameras and turned into a photo mapping aircraft until they converted it over to be a drone controller in 1947.
What's it like flying this compared to a more modern aircraft?
It's a fun aircraft. We've upgraded a few things just to make it easier to fly in the modern world. We have some updated radios, but most of it's pretty old school still. But it's a lot of fun. It's very heavy. It's very sedate. It's kind of a stable airplane. Doesn't do anything real quickly, but it's a great piece of history. We're very honored to fly on it and fly it.
Cool. And so you said it was a drone controller?
It was a drone controller, yes. They fitted things to control other aircraft as they flew through radiation, the A-bomb clouds in atomic bomb testing in the Pacific in 1947-48.
Is maintenance a big issue with it, or do you have...
Well, we have a very dedicated volunteer crew. We're an all-volunteer organization, and we have a great crew of mechanics who work very hard to keep the aircraft